Talk about an invasion of your privacy. Financial firms and regulators want to monitor people's personal Facebook and Twitter accounts. You could be next. With more on this, John Simpson, Privacy Project Director for Consumer Watchdog. Welcome to the show, John. Good to see you. Should employees monitor people's personal Facebook and Twitter pages?
Well, I think it's just an absolutely outrageous idea. And in fact, I'm glad to report that there are some states that prohibit that. California's among them, Maryland, Michigan, I believe, and Illinois. I mean, it seems to me that what you put on your Facebook account should just be between you and your friends. It's none of the employer's business what you do in your own time.
Well, I'll tell you what the logic is here, and I want to hear what you think about it. So this is regulators of the financial industry and Wall Street firms. They say there's so much bad stuff, rip-offs, going on online right now that the only way they can keep up with it is to watch their employees' accounts. What do you say?
I find that almost impossible to believe. I mean, if there was a genuine suspicion that something wrong is happening, that the way you get at that is through a warrant by an investigative agency to gain access in a lawful way that's been tried and true under our Constitution for years and years. I just don't see this notion of monitoring people.
Do it the old-fashioned way. Go do it the old-fashioned way, get a case together, bring your case, and go from there.
Exactly. Exactly. Now, I suppose you could also make the case that you ought not to be accessing some of these social media accounts during business hours on business-provided equipment, and a company could have rules about that. I wouldn't object to that. But the notion of going into your personal account and watching what you do outside of work and business hours is just terribly invasive.
Well, we should mention that a new bill that the House is putting forward, there was an add-on banning employers from seeking Facebook passwords. That was killed. So something that would have taken care of this nationally went down. John, I want to talk to you about a totally other issue as long as you're here. Sure. And you're a privacy expert. Okay. Every time I go to a store these days, they're asking for my zip code. And I got to think that there's something in it for them, that it's not just making sure you are who you say you are. They're probably getting some kind of edge. What is it? Why are they asking for that?
Well, there are data broker companies, the data brokers like Axiom, CoreLogics, who essentially are in the business of compiling massive digital dossiers on people, on consumers, on their buying habits, and they can determine what sort of body size they are by the size clothes you buy and so on. So when you link your name from the credit card to a zip code, that enables that data to be sent off and sold to the data brokers, who then resell it for all sorts of purposes, some of them as mundane as targeting advertising, especially towards you, but sometimes other companies buy that that information for all sorts of other purposes, possibly to make decisions about hiring you, about what sort of insurance rates they might charge, that kind of thing.
Boy, I tell you, I can't get over how many people want to know all these private details. John, I guess I can just say no. Quickly, we don't have a lot of time, but I assume I can tell the girl at the cash register that I'm not going to give her my zip code, and thank you very much.
You should always do that and say that, and in some states you have the law on your side. In California, they are specifically prohibited from gathering that information. Same thing in the state of Massachusetts. And there may be some other states as well.
All right.
But yes, I would say just say no.
None of your business. That's what I'm going to say. None of your business. Thanks for coming in. John, appreciate your time tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.